Welcome back, radiant soul of the sun. I'm Luna Celestine, and if these words have found you today, trust that it is not a coincidence. It's a whisper from the universe, a quiet yet powerful nudge, calling your heart to pause and listen. Something is shifting, and deep down, you've already felt it. This message is not here to tell you what's right or wrong. It's here to affirm what your Leo heart already knows, that a silent distance has begun to grow between you and someone deeply significant in your life. They don't see it yet, but you do. You, with your instinctive wisdom and intuitive light, have already sensed the invisible unraveling. And I know you've tried. You've held space, kept hope, fought for the bond. But this isn't about failure. It's about frequency, and your soul is no longer vibrating at the same level as theirs. In today's message, I will not only reveal why this separation is happening, but how you can walk through it with grace. Not through heartbreak, but through illumination. Because this isn't the end. This is the sacred beginning of something far more aligned with the version of you that's now emerging. So take a deep breath, dear Leo, settle in, and allow me to guide you through the transformation that your heart has already begun to prepare for. The universe is not breaking your heart, it's rearranging your life. Right now, there is a sacred reconfiguration taking place within your energetic field. You may not see it on the surface yet, but beneath the ordinary rhythms of your days, something extraordinary is unfolding. The universe, in its quiet, infinite wisdom, is dissolving certain connections, not to punish you, but to make room. Room for what? For the kinds of bonds that echo the truth of who you've become, for the kind of love, friendship, and soul companionship that doesn't require you to shrink, mask, or compromise your essence. If you've felt a sudden emotional distance from someone, or if certain conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel strained or hollow, trust that this isn't a random shift. Your energy has changed, and because of that, the ecosystem of your relationships is being recalibrated. Those who no longer resonate with the frequency of your growth will slowly drift, not out of spite, but out of natural misalignment. It's important to remember, this is not personal. It's energetic. The people being moved from your life may have played beautiful, even essential roles in past chapters of your journey. They helped you learn, love, and awaken to certain truths. But they are not always meant to walk with you into the next phase. As your soul expands, the universe removes what no longer fits. Gently, sometimes painfully, but always with divine precision. And in the space left behind, something rare begins to stir. New connections, quieter at first, begin to circle your field. People who speak the language of your spirit. People who don't just understand your words, but feel the vibration behind them. These are not replacements. They are soul echoes, mirrors of your evolution. Proof that what you are becoming deserves to be met, fully, deeply, and without distortion. So if your heart is aching in this moment of release, let it ache, but also let it trust. What's leaving your life is making way for something far more aligned. You are not losing connection. You are entering a new frequency of it. One that honors your truth, your radiance, and the wild, sacred path you were always meant to walk. This separation is not rooted in failure, betrayal, or blame. It is simply the result of energetic divergence. Two souls who once resonated with beautiful harmony are now vibrating at different frequencies. And that shift, though subtle at first, becomes undeniable as time passes. It's not about who did more or who did less. It's not about right or wrong. It's about evolution and how your inner growth has led you down a path that your companion may no longer be ready or able to walk alongside. In the spiritual realm, every connection is formed for a reason, but not all are meant to last forever. Some people arrive in your life to awaken a part of you, to mirror something you needed to see, to walk with you through a particular season. And once that purpose is fulfilled, the connection may begin to dissolve, not because it was meaningless, but because it has served its sacred role. Continuing to hold on can sometimes distort what was once beautiful. Letting go, on the other hand, honors the truth of what once was and creates space for what is now becoming. Energetic misalignment doesn't always show itself in dramatic events. More often it reveals itself through small things. A lack of presence, a quiet disinterest, a disconnect in dreams, values, or timing. Conversations feel shallow, shared moments lose their glow, and although everything on the surface may seem fine, your spirit knows the truth. It senses the tension, the subtle resistance, the way your soul now seeks experiences that the other can no longer offer. This is the pain of growing, when your wings begin to stretch beyond the cage that once felt like home. You're not abandoning anyone, you're not betraying love. You're simply answering the call of your own becoming. And sometimes, answering that call means walking a path where others cannot follow, even those you once thought would be by your side forever. So if this separation is arising in your life, don't see it as a failure. See it as a sign of your expansion. A sign that your soul is asking for deeper alignment, greater truth, and more sacred resonance. You are not drifting apart by accident. You are evolving. An evolution, though often lonely, is always guided by a divine hand. Let the path unfold. Let the old dissolve. What is meant for your next chapter will not require you to dim your light to keep it close. As a Leo, you are ruled by the sun, a radiant force that brings warmth, clarity, and life wherever it shines. And just like the sun, your presence is deeply felt by those around you. But what many don't see is that beneath your boldness, your strength, and your loyalty lies a heart that feels everything long before the world catches up. Your intuition isn't loud. It doesn't scream, it whispers. Through quiet discomforts, sudden silences, or the way your energy subtly recoils when something no longer feels aligned. You notice the shift in tone before others even realize a change has occurred. You sense when someone's spirit is pulling away, even if they're still standing right beside you. And this gift, this ability to feel what is fading, is not a burden. It's your blessing. While the other person may still believe everything is the same, still smile at the right moments, still speak in familiar rhythms, you know better. You can sense the undercurrent, the drop in resonance, the way their energy no longer wraps around yours the way it used to. It's like hearing music that's gone slightly out of tune, not enough to be obvious to everyone, but enough to make you pause and wonder when the harmony began to unravel. This is what makes you different, Leo. Your ability to love so deeply is matched by your ability to detect when love begins to fade, shift, or stretch beyond its natural bounds. It is not paranoia. It is not overthinking. It is your soul, finely attuned to the emotional currents that others cannot yet see. And because you feel it first, you are the one who carries the weight of awareness. You are the one who must decide, do I ignore the signs and keep pretending, or do I gently prepare for the change my spirit already knows is coming? This isn't about being cold or distant, far from it. This is about honoring your inner wisdom, the part of you that refuses to lie to yourself, even when it would be easier to do so. The part that whispers, something is shifting, something is no longer right, and it's time to let go with grace rather than wait for the storm. So if you've been sensing this shift, trust it. Trust yourself. Your lion heart doesn't just lead you toward love. It also knows when it's time to release what no longer nourishes your soul. There are moments in life when the universe doesn't ask for your permission. It simply begins to move the pieces. And right now, Leo, you are living through one of those moments. Beneath the surface of your daily interactions, the cosmos is delicately, yet decisively, rearranging the architecture of your relationships. This is not chaos, it's sacred design. The universe is making space around you, loosening ties, unbinding old emotional contracts, and reweaving your relational landscape. Not to take love away from you, but to make room for deeper, truer, more aligned connections. You may find that over the coming days and weeks, certain people begin to feel distant. The energy might still be polite, still functional, but the emotional resonance fades. Perhaps it's a romantic partner who no longer sees you clearly, no longer meets you in that sacred middle ground where hearts truly connect. Or maybe it's a friend, someone who once understood you completely, now feeling strangely foreign, as if the frequency of your bond has grown out of tune. For others, it may be a family member whose presence used to comfort you, but now brings restlessness. It could even be a colleague whose energy once aligned with your mission, now drifting in another direction. The forms vary, but the feeling is unmistakable. You are outgrowing certain connections, and it's happening by divine timing. Over the next 6 weeks, this process will intensify. You might notice emotional withdrawal, fewer meaningful exchanges, a growing silence where once there was fire. And though it may feel disorienting at first, know this: it is not a rupture born of conflict. It is a natural closing of chapters that no longer serve your soul's evolution. The tension may rise gently at first, but by the 6th week, the contrast will be undeniable, and the choice to release will no longer feel optional but necessary. What follows is a period of deep energetic cleansing. For the 3 months ahead, you'll be recalibrating emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. This isn't just about who leaves. It's about who you become in the absence of their energy. It's about what you begin to magnetize in their place. The relationships that enter your life after this transitional phase will not resemble what came before. They will carry a new frequency. One that meets you where you are now, not where you used to be. So let this be your quiet preparation. Not to fight what's falling away, but to welcome what is being born. The universe is not robbing you of connection. It's upgrading your capacity to receive love that matches your growth. And when you look back months from now, you may realize nothing was taken, only replaced with something infinitely more true. When the universe initiates a separation, your greatest act of power is not to resist, but to surrender with grace. You see, Leo, your instinct is to fight for what you love. You are loyal to the core, devoted beyond reason, and you hold your relationships like treasures, close to your chest, guarded by the fire of your heart. But this time, the lesson is different. This time, the medicine is not in holding on, but in letting go, with dignity, with softness, with love. Acceptance is not defeat. It is wisdom in motion. It is the soul's quiet understanding that when something begins to dissolve, it is not necessarily broken. It is simply complete. Just as flowers fall when their season ends, certain relationships fade when their purpose has been fulfilled. That doesn't make them failures. It makes them sacred. Instead of asking why it's ending, ask what it gave you. What did this person awaken in you? What joy, pain, growth, or memory did they plant in your life that helped you become who you are today? Even the most painful relationships leave behind gifts, sometimes in the form of strength, sometimes in clarity, sometimes in the simple realization of what you truly deserve. Gratitude, in this moment, is your alchemy. It is what transforms sorrow into wisdom. It's how you close the door with light instead of with bitterness. And perhaps the most difficult truth: you cannot force someone to see what their soul is not yet ready to comprehend. The person you are separating from may still believe everything is fine. They might not feel the energetic unraveling the way you do, and trying to explain it, to demand understanding, to seek closure through logic, will likely only deepen the pain, not because they don't care, but because they cannot feel what you feel. This transformation is happening on a higher plane, and you were simply the first to notice. So what now? You release without blame. You bless without needing to be understood. You allow the distance to form, not as an act of rejection, but as an act of honoring the truth that lives inside you. That truth is quiet, but it is unwavering. And in doing so, in choosing love over control, gratitude over resentment, and surrender over struggle, you rise into the next chapter of your life, not empty, but expanded, not broken, but whole. Let the closing be gentle, Leo. Let it be a prayer. Because what comes next is not a punishment for what's leaving, it's a reward for how bravely you've chosen to grow. This is not the end, dear Leo. It is the sacred threshold of something entirely new. You may feel the sting of separation now, the ache of letting go, the haunting silence that follows when someone who once meant everything begins to fade from your daily rhythm. And yes, from the human perspective, it can feel like loss, like something precious is slipping through your fingers. But from the soul's perspective, this is liberation. This separation did not just happen to you. It was chosen long ago, before you even knew this person, before the story unfolded. Your soul, wise and expansive, knew there would come a time when you would have to step into the next version of yourself. And for that to happen, you would need space. Because what's coming next is not just another relationship, another comfort, another companion to fill the void. What's coming is a higher resonance, a deeper kind of bond, one that meets you in the truth of who you are, not who you've been trained to be, not who you've had to become to survive, but your authentic self, unveiled and unapologetic. The universe, in its mercy, is clearing the clutter, not just in your environment, but in your emotional field. You are not being abandoned, you are being prepared. Prepared for relationships that honor your heart. Connections where you no longer have to shrink, compromise, or translate your soul's language just to feel seen. People who speak your truth without needing explanation. Souls who recognize you immediately because they too have done the work to rise into alignment. This is why you must not cling to what is leaving. You must trust what is arriving. Even now, new energies are gathering at the edge of your path. You may not see them yet, but they are already being drawn toward you by the gravitational pull of your awakening. You are no longer calling in people based on old wounds or past patterns. You are magnetizing with clarity, and the universe is responding with synchronicities, sacred meetings, and the unfolding of divine timing. So let this be your affirmation. This is not a loss. This is a holy opening. What ends now opens the gates to something far more aligned. And as you walk through that gate, lighter, wiser, more in tune with your own rhythm, you will finally understand. The pain of release was never a punishment. It was the cost of making space for something real. Let it come. Let it be beautiful. Let it be true. And now, as we arrive at the end of this message, I want to leave you with something deeper than explanation. I want to leave you with remembrance. I'm Luna, and I know what it's like to hold on tightly to someone who once felt like home. I know the quiet ache of watching a bond shift while pretending everything is fine. I know the kind of loyalty that makes you stay long after your soul has already stepped away. But I also know the freedom, the breathtaking, soul-deep freedom that comes when you finally release what no longer rises with you. This isn't just another story of letting go. It's a chapter of becoming. You're not walking away from something. You're walking toward yourself. Every tear, every silence, every soft goodbye is carving space for something sacred to find you. And it will. So if your heart is heavy tonight, let it be. Sit with it. Speak to it gently. But don't confuse heaviness with wrongness. Sometimes what feels like grief is actually growth in disguise. Sometimes the most powerful beginnings are wrapped in quiet endings. You're not alone on this path. I'm walking it too. We all are. In our own way, in our own timing. But if this message reached you, then trust that the universe wanted you to hear it. You are seen. You are guided. And you are not being asked to go through this in the dark. I'll be here through every phase, every revelation, every shift, to walk beside you. And in the next video, I'll share what you can expect once the dust settles, once the space opens, and how to recognize the divine relationships that are on their way to meet you. Until then, hold yourself with gentleness, trust the timing, and remember, this isn't the end. It's the sacred return to your most luminous self.